The Cowboys find themselves at a critical juncture, carefully analyzing which players might be released as they shape their roster for the season ahead. Following the wave of undrafted free agent signings, the team now holds a staggering 95 athletes, exceeding the official league limit of 90. Even though the recent draft picks are included in this headcount, despite not having officially signed contracts, the excess still stands. For Dallas, there's a slight adjustment. They are permitted 91 players thanks to the International Player Program, granting them an additional roster spot. Still, cuts must be made, as it is simply unrealistic to keep this volume of talent on the squad. Inevitably, some names will be shown the door, and it is within this context that we delve into the players who could soon find themselves on the outside looking in. In this breakdown, we will highlight 4 players prominently on the chopping block, and also touch on around 10 others lurking near the bottom of the depth chart whose departures would not cause a stir. Very soon, we will also dive into the unexpected cuts, the winners and losers from the draft, and some potential targets still floating in free agency. There's a lot ahead, so stay tuned. First up is a player who might be more of a trade candidate than an outright cut, which could explain why there's been no sudden movement around his name so far. With a cap hit of approximately $1,180,000, cutting him would free up roughly $1,100,000. However, the reality behind this figure is more complex, as the net savings would consider the salary of a replacement player, likely around $1,030,000, resulting in only a modest financial benefit. Turning the focus to another player who remains a living reminder of a previous transaction, we now have a 6th-round rookie added to the roster. The Cowboys find themselves well stocked along the offensive line, a fact that will force difficult decisions sooner rather than later. The team is set to trim this group, and some tough choices will undoubtedly have to be made. Another key player under scrutiny holds a cap hit of $3,407,000, and releasing him could save the team around $3,401,000. That's significant money, especially for a team looking to maximize flexibility. Last season saw this player slip down the pecking order, and when we revisit our draft winners and losers, he will surely land in the latter category. Dallas made a concerted effort to bolster their linebacker corps during the offseason, leading to some natural speculation about whether this veteran will still have a place. Looking back at the 2023 draft class, there was a clear abundance of tackles available, yet the production in sacks, tackles for loss, and pass breakups fell noticeably short. This lack of standout performance adds another layer of uncertainty to the player's future. Additionally, one player is dealing with an impending injury situation, while others are primarily special teams contributors. When it comes down to choosing between the 5th best special teams linebacker making about $1 million and another costing 3 times that, the path seems clear. Financial logic favors the cheaper option. It is difficult to envision a scenario where the Cowboys retain the higher priced player when better value options are available. Now, shifting attention to a different case, we look at players hovering near the bottom of the salary cap impact list. Several athletes sit with cap numbers around $1,033,000 or are signed to non-guaranteed deals, meaning cutting them would involve minimal financial repercussions. Watching how the new coaching staff deploys these players will be fascinating, especially after several off-season adjustments. Last year, one player particularly struggled both on defense and in special teams assignments. Despite his high draft pedigree, the clock is ticking. If the cornerback group stays relatively healthy this season, the team may find it difficult to justify keeping him around. At the same time, it's unlikely the Cowboys will cut anyone crucial at the moment, especially given the glaring lack of a true second wide receiver on the roster. Yet another familiar name finds himself on the bubble. Though the team appears poised to give him a fighting chance to stick around during training camp, it's crucial to highlight that one player caught just 18 passes over 21 games while contributing in blocking and special teams roles. That versatility may provide him with a path to making the roster as a 4th or 5th receiving option, although others will be pushing hard to snatch those limited spots. As we pivot to the lesser-known names, many of these players carry very minimal guarantees, meaning their release would cost the team virtually nothing. Previously ranked around the 8th or 9th slots at their respective positions, these athletes now face a stiff challenge to hold onto a spot on the depth chart. There's a sense of inevitable change brewing at the bottom of the roster, and it would be fascinating to watch how that unfolds in the weeks ahead. Before diving into the specifics of these players, it's worth mentioning that new NFL draft-themed merchandise has been released, including caps, hoodies, and jerseys of the newly drafted rookies. For anyone interested, that gear can be found linked in the comment section and video description. But let's get back to the action, beginning with the wide receivers. One receiver who was on the roster last season finds himself fighting for survival once again after the team brought in 2 undrafted free agents. The reality is that much of the lower roster shuffling depends heavily on preseason performances. Depth is crucial, but key starters are unlikely to see much action, leaving the door open for others to showcase their abilities. 1 or 2 of the bottom-tier wideouts could find themselves on the chopping block, particularly a player from a prominent university whose profile closely mirrors that of a previously drafted player. Another name worth monitoring brings a different skill set to the group, and it will be intriguing to see how the coaching staff views his potential contributions. One particular wideout appears to be the least likely candidate to be released, especially given the team's apparent need for a legitimate slot receiver option. Observing how the coaching staff assesses these players will provide valuable insights into the roster building philosophy moving forward. For a bit of fun, let's engage the audience. If you could choose one player to cut right now, who would it be? Go ahead and drop your suggestions in the comments. It's always fascinating to hear different perspectives, and no answer is wrong at this point of the offseason. Rewind in a few years. One of the highest paid undrafted free agent signings faced serious health issues and could not make a meaningful impact. Fast forward to today, and the offensive line room is absolutely crowded. There's a full starting unit, an entire second string group, a third team, and then some extra bodies on top of that. While certain players mentioned earlier will likely stick, others face an uphill battle after the team aggressively added new blood through the draft and free agency. It seems unlikely that the team will keep every offensive lineman currently on the roster. With so many additions, there's simply not enough room. One player who contributed sporadically over his career now finds himself overshadowed by younger talent and faces the real possibility of being phased out. Meanwhile, another young lineman from a prominent college program has yet to make much of an impact and must fight for every snap during training camp and preseason. Expect certain linemen to get extended playing time during preseason games, especially given the crowded nature of the group and the likelihood that top players will be heavily protected from injury. The Cowboys must find a way to maintain depth without clogging the roster with redundant pieces, balancing the immediate need for capable backups with a clear-eyed view of the future. Shifting gears, there's another edge player who, despite his flexibility to play inside or outside, seems destined to face tough competition. The team appears to have solidified its plans for the position, at least for the current season, limiting opportunities for fringe players. Just for fun, let's bring back the old video game spirit and invite you all to rate the Cowboys roster from 1 to 99 in the comments. Let's see those numbers. Then we have Brock Minson, a linebacker with a memorable name that fits his rugged playing style. Signed as an undrafted free agent last year, Minson finds himself in a crowded room, even with Overshown sidelined early on. It's fair to wonder whether the Cowboys truly need to carry 10 linebackers through the preseason and into final cuts. It feels a bit excessive given the team's other needs elsewhere on the roster. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In a surprising turn of events that has sent shockwaves through the NFL, Jalen Hurts, the standout quarterback who helped lead the Philadelphia Eagles to a Super Bowl appearance, has officially confirmed his move to the Dallas Cowboys. This decision, one that was kept under wraps for months, is bound to have major implications for both teams and the NFC East division. Hurts' move to the Cowboys marks a stunning shift in the landscape of the NFL. The 25-year-old quarterback, known for his leadership, poise under pressure, and dual threat capabilities, has been one of the most dynamic players in the league since his breakout season with the Eagles. He led his team to the Super Bowl in the 2022 season and earned widespread praise for his resilience and growth, making him one of the top quarterbacks in the league. However, Hurts's decision to join the Cowboys is seen as one of the most shocking moves in recent memory. Not only does it disrupt the quarterback landscape in the NFC, but it also intensifies the rivalry between the Cowboys and Eagles, which has always been fierce. Hurts' departure from the Eagles marks the end of an era, with the team now having to navigate the post-Hurts era and make crucial decisions regarding their future quarterback situation. The Cowboys, on the other hand, find themselves with a quarterback who brings a fresh sense of energy and talent to a roster that has long been searching for stability at the position. Hurts' dual threat ability adds a new dimension to the Cowboys' offense, which already boasts elite talent at wide receiver and running back. His leadership and ability to perform in clutch moments will certainly be valuable as Dallas aims to contend for a Super Bowl in the coming years. Cowboys fans are understandably excited, but also cautious, knowing that Hurts will face the pressure of replacing Dak Prescott, who has been the face of the franchise for several seasons. While Hurts' dynamic skill set has the potential to elevate the Cowboys to new heights, it also comes with the expectation of immediate success. For the Eagles, this move opens up several questions. Hurts was the cornerstone of their offense, and his departure leaves a significant void that will be difficult to fill. Philadelphia will now have to reassess its quarterback situation and determine how to proceed with a new face under center. Overall, Hurts' decision to join the Cowboys represents a major shift in the NFL's quarterback landscape, particularly in the NFC East. The rivalry between Dallas and Philadelphia is set to reach new heights, and all eyes will be on Hurts as he begins this new chapter of his career with one of the NFL's most storied franchises. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.